Just being honest. Nothing but the truth, yeah. Nothing but the truth, yeah. Honesty, CJ.Honesty. 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 Just being honest. Nothing but the truth.
Here on CJ.Honesty, we will not tolerate the following: disrespect of religious beliefs, sexual orientation, sexism, racism, and colorism. All the isms, alright? Thank you.
Welcome to another episode of CJ.Honesty. On our last episode, we talked about our thoughts on how we feel about an older person dating a younger person and vice versa. In this episode, this is our last episode for this season. Yay, right? Yeah, are you excited about that, John?
Yeah.
Yes, I am too. And in this episode, we're going to talk about good guys versus bad guys and what women's preferences are.
Mm.
And we have a special guest. Her name is Niyya. She is a professional driver, an urban farmer, and a naturalist. She is a jack of all trades. You can always find her dabbling in a variety of hobbies. She prefers a mixture of good and bad guys. Hi, what's up? Thanks for coming on our podcast.
Hey, Christina. Hey, Jonathan. Thanks for having me.
Yes.
Thank you for being here.
Yes. So I'm going to get into a poll that I put up on Instagram and Facebook just to get some data or some answers from different women about what they would prefer, a good guy or a bad guy. So the results are, drum roll, but okay. So 50% prefer good guys, and then the other 50% prefer bad guys. Or is anyone surprised or no?
Not in today's world, no.
Yeah. How about you, Nina? Are you surprised with the results?
Not necessarily. No, not at all. Because, bad guys, they're kind of appealing to a certain crowd.
Yeah, actually, I was a little surprised because I thought the bad guys was going to be more percentage of with the bad guys. I didn't know it was going to be 50. I was a little surprised. So that's what it was the results. It was interesting to me. But so I want to give the reasons to why the women chose the good guy and bad guy. So the ones who chose good guys, almost all of them said the same thing. They chose good guy because they feel like a good guy would keep them out of trouble. Actually, that's the most popular answer that I got from the women, that they that's why they chose them. You won't be in no drama, And then with a bad guy, most of them said for excitement and the thrill, and that they're mostly down to do whatever. And so I want to talk about Jonathan and I's definition of a good guy and bad guy.
Yeah, then Nia can pretty much come in and just say if she agree with it, or if she got something different, then she can give a different definition. So first definition that we have is for a good guy. We have down basically somebody who is respectful, somebody that's a gentleman, supportive. He's family oriented. He's faithful in the relationship or loyal, have you. Pretty much treats the woman like a queen. And we wrote down some examples of that from what we can tell. Russell Wilson, Denzel Washington, Morris Chestnut, and Boris Kojo. And for the bad guys, we basically describe them as somebody who either sells or does drug on a regular basis. He's in and out of jail. He's abusive, either mentally, emotionally, or physically. He's a cheater. He's a controller. He juggles multiple women. He has a lot of different quote unquote, I guess, baby mamas. He's not committed, or he's irresponsible. And some of the people that we had down for that was the rapper Future, Offset, and Chris Brown. And then we had also a mixture, I guess, like of the good and bad. Some examples that we thought of that was like a Bow Wow or 50 Cent, the rapper T.I., and Jay-Z.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I don't know if you agree with that, Niyya, or not.
Yeah. After our conversation yesterday, I really started to like think about when I say like a mixture of a bad guy. And I don't think anybody wants a physically or mentally abusive guy or just a bum who does drugs or smokes every day, all day. Because I know like now smoking weed is kind of the norm. But if you're like rolling up J back to back to back, and smoking facials, nobody wants that. But I definitely agree with your definitions of a good and bad guy. I think good guys sometimes are pushovers a little bit, but maybe that just comes to in each individual man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you really a man, or you more like, softer than what I'm not gonna say what a man should be, but what a man should be.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that's how they are? Like, have you you know that like from, I guess, your friends that have talked about it, or have you dated any good guy that was like that, or
Um, I've met a few. I've met a few like really. I that was like really really nice. Like I don't think I like someone who's like just like too nice. Like just
yes,
agrees with everything. Never doesn't have really a backbone. Like I wouldn't want that kind of guy. Haven't run into many of them because I just don't hang around that kind of crowd.
gotcha.
But um,
So basically, somebody who at least shows that he has a different opinion than you.
yes,
Basically, like not always agreeing with every single thing you say, and just basically like a yes man, basically.
Mm-hmm.
right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I wouldn't want a yes man. I want someone who put me in my not put me in my place, but just keep it real with me and tell me if I'm
Right.
wrong. Cause I don't like to be wrong though. But if the guy be like, okay, Christina, John does that,
Yeah,
yeah, and then I'll be like, okay, you're right, I did this. That was wrong of me. But they just keep saying yes. They don't. It's not. They don't have their own thoughts or opinions. I don't like that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
a very opinionated person. So if the guy can match that with me, then that's perfect combination for me. So.
And if they can't like add anything, like if you're an unopinionated or indecisive, the guy never comes in and says, "Oh, hun, let's do this," or "Oh no, I don't feel like doing that today. Let's do this today." They're just like, "Okay, we can go."
yeah,
Like you've
Yeah.
been to the mall with me 10 times this week. You're gonna keep saying yes. I know you do not want to go to Nordstrom again and hold my
yeah,
stuff in the dressing room. Like I know you don't. Babe, tell me you gotta go play ball with your friends or something. Do something.
yeah. I think some good guys, not all of them, but some of them, they it's almost like in their mind they don't want to lose the girl that they with. So in order to not do that, they're gonna like basically compromise with everything she's doing, or they don't speak up for themselves. And I think as women, that's probably, and not even just women, but anybody in general is not gonna want somebody who doesn't express themselves or doesn't speak up for themselves. I think both has, whether you're with a good guy or whether you're with a bad guy, is pretty much both of them have their ups and their downs probably.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I think like with the bad guys though, I think if you were gonna take like with the good guys, that's like a bad thing about them. I think with bad guys though, if I had to say anything like bad about them, obviously, it's the abuse factor, whether it's mentally or emotionally or physically, you
Yeah.
definitely don't
You don't want that.
want that.
That's toxic.
And
Yeah.
then, I can almost think if I had a daughter, I would rather, if she was gonna date somebody that was bad, I would rather he be like a mixture of the two, I could almost deal with that because at least, you know, he for him not to be all the way in with being a gang member or selling drugs or doing drugs. If he came out of that life, I would be fine with that. You know, as long as I know that he has my daughter's best interests at heart, basically. You know, he's not juggling multiple women around while being with my daughter, and my daughter not basically settling to be with somebody who's gonna be with other multiple women while he's per se with you. I wouldn't want that for my daughter to be a main chick, if you will. I would want her to be like the only person.
Or a side chick.
Yeah, or that's even worse. But I was trying to give the benefit of the doubt, really.
That's the
But
thing.
yeah, some people. I seen a video where this one girl was talking about being a side chick.
And she was proud of it.
Yeah,
Right.
I forgot the name of her, the name of that girl, but
I mean, I think that okay. So two things. I'm gonna go back to the definition of a bad boy, and like I feel like back in the day, you would say like, oh yeah, you have a bad boy. Like he would be wearing leather and riding motorcycles and just hanging out, kind of like with the bad crew. But he necessarily didn't get into trouble. Like that could also be a bad boy. But then I think that's kind of what excites some women to go towards the bad guys, just because they are exciting. So even if they're not like abusive or anything, just somebody who's kind of like devious.
Yeah.
Is that the word, devious? Like just like goes against the norm of society.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying. Like, who's the
trendsetter?
Like, just have their own.
Yeah, or just they just break rules. Like they're just rule breakers.
Yeah.
So
they don't
conform
to
society's norms and all that rules.
Or like a suburban norms. So I mean, you can find that in the hood all day. But also and then the side chick thing, it's some women just want to juggle different men. So it's easier for them to be a side chick because they don't really have any loyalty to just one person, really. So they can have multiple guys, but then that's like a bad girl. So
yeah. Oh, we should have an episode about bad girl, good girl, bad girl. Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, like the good woman versus a thought, because I feel like these thoughts are getting wiped up. Like a Cardi B. I'm not gonna say Cardi B is a thought, but I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna use Cardi B as an example because she did break up with her little boyfriend that was in jail and then go with Offset.
Yeah.
But like the whole Jada Pinkett thing, everybody's like supporting everybody's supporting Jada, but they don't want to support Offset and his cheating and stuff.
Right.
But I feel like a lot of promiscuous women are the women that are getting these relationships and stuff, and it's just like these girls are going after the guys that every girl wants, and that's probably sleeping with a couple women at the same time. That's just what's in these days.
Do you think it's fair to say then that people go after the wrong thing or the wrong person?
I don't think. Okay, so dating, I just don't think people take out the time to get to know the person anymore. And I don't even think people know their intentions with the person that they're dating. Like you and Christina, you guys probably talked about where you wanted your relationship to go. People these days, they don't talk about that. They're just like, okay, like we're together, but then y'all both have like 3 or 4 other side relationships, and y'all not technically like in a relationship, but you don't want your partner being with anybody else. But y'all never had that discussion. Like, okay, now we're committed. Like we are in a committed relationship. So you got the bad boy, and he still got 3 other girls waiting to see him later on this week.
No.
Yeah.
So
think that has to do with lack of communication, just with our
Definitely.
generation. You know, we were very bad at communicating nowadays.
Yep, we're a lot of people ghost people, the ghosting.
Oh my
Yeah, I
God,
think
ghost.
Wait, no lie, wait. I've done that before. I'm guilty, so I can't be like, oh, that's bad because I did it myself.
And it's so easy to block somebody. Like, oh
I
God,
blocked
Yeah.
my block game
block
strong. I blocked a couple people.
on
Yo,
everything. It's like,
yeah, man.
yeah, I've been blocked a couple times. I'm like, wait, I can't see his Instagram. Let me text him. And then my blue iMessage goes through and it turned green. I'm like, dang, I just gotta get those things.
Yeah. Yeah, we gotta do better with that. I think it's
just say you're
partially
not. I feel like when people do that, just say you generally not
Interested.
interested.
But that's what, like you said, communication. Nobody, like, I don't know if they just don't want to hurt your feelings or.
Yeah, that's what I was
feel
thinking.
like I can get that part, like not wanting to hurt somebody's feelings,
Yeah.
but I feel like telling somebody that you're not interested is better than just straight up ghosting them. Because now I feel like now there was no communication, and now you just like you making that person feel like dang, like what's wrong with me, basically.
Right, they were nothing.
Yeah,
Like you could just kick them on the side and
yeah,
move on with your life.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you just wasted a whole like 2 months trying to talk. Even if like they lead you on for a few months or whatever, you're like, dang, I just wasted mad time. I wish you would have just told me after the
Yeah.
second date, like I'm not really into you like that. And I'd have been like, okay, cool. I'm pretty sure most people, unless you kind of psychotic and start stalking them, internet stalking them, because that's so easy to do.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. So I want to talk about the good guys. So I feel like sometimes women, they look at good guys, like you said, getting back to what you said about them being pushovers. I don't think that good guys should be underestimated, because you may meet a good guy who can fight, or like who has a gun, who owns a gun. You know what I'm saying? Can protect you. And because you mentioned you that some women think that the bad guys are just for protection, but the good guys can be for protection as well. Like you said, it depends on it go by individual man, like the individual person. So that's how I feel about women, how they view good guys. Because I like good guys. I always dated the good guys. Well, I guess no, they were a mixture. They were controlling, so being controlling is not good. So they were a
Right.
mixture for me. But I always tend to I had to reevaluate who I was actually attracted to. They were a mixture. But I mostly go with the good guys, I guess. Yeah.
I don't think anyone that's like too far left or too far right would be
It's
like,
good.
yeah, it's good. Like I think you should. Everybody can't, but a guy should have like a nice balance between being able to be affectionate and loving and supportive, and also being that like strong leader, protector, kind of have those kind of qualities. And that's why I say, like, when I like a mixture, I like to know that I'm protected, but I also want to feel like while we're in public, like that could be my teddy bear. Like I want somebody who's soft in private, but while we're in public, I need you to be my rock. Like, oh yeah, we're not gonna get like nobody's gonna try to step to us because they don't want them kind of problems with my man right here. But if you got like a I don't know, like Kevin Hart little self. Like I mean, now he a little husky, but his stature is small, so he can be kind of like no, like in his stand up. he gonna have y'all running instead of like, yo, what's up? Like what you trying to do, you know?
Yeah.
So I think a guy that's has those kind of leadership protective qualities is what I'm talking about, like having a mixture. Someone who's not scared to like go get a bag. Even if you have to do some kind of like illegal activities, As long as it's not like super crazy illegal, like why not? It's a little.
Actually, I disagree with you with that, because why would you want to be in a position where someone is doing something illegal, even if it's not severe, like out there?
Because what is illegal to the government may not necessarily be like morally bad. Like if you if you go out to Cali and you talking to some weed growers, I mean, that's legal, isn't it? I think it's legal. Like it's legal out there.
Well,
It's legal in DC. But if you trying to like bring a product back to the East Coast, that's illegal. But I mean, if you're not gonna do it, somebody else will. Like that's just like I said, weed is just it's so normalized. It's normal. People use it for multiple reasons. So like if he had like a business like that, I mean, I wouldn't be upset. Like, okay. Like would you really get in that much trouble? Unless you like really stupid about it.
Well, if you put in that context, because the weed industry is very popular, it's growing, right?
Right.
Then yeah, I could see that. But I thought you meant like, I was thinking some other elite, get into some like gang stuff or something.
Oh no, I
Working
don't do that
with
gang
people
banging.
like that, mafia, something like that.
Yeah, it sounds like me is more so talking about somebody who got a license to sell weed or something.
Oh, okay. Well, that's different.
Or just got a straight up business.
I mean, I ain't saying he has a license or nothing. I'm just saying like
just doing it.
You trying to expand your business. I mean, because that's where like the good product. Like I'm just saying for like the West Coast, it's legal out there. People grow it openly. But on the East Coast, it's looked at like, oh, that's illegal. He's a drug dealer. But like, are you really a drug dealer?
Well, yeah. It depends. Yeah, it's tricky. I think it's tricky.
I think in quote unquote the law, I guess if you're not doing something according to like having like if you certified to do something or sell something, then in that case you're quote unquote, if they was to throw you in jail, they would call you a drug dealer.
Like nickel and diming. I feel like the dudes that are on the corners or the ones that you can call up real quick, like, hey, I need an eighth, or hey, I need like a quarter. I don't know. Right. I feel like those are the ones that have more risk in getting in trouble because they're more available. But if you're personally, I would want the head honcho, like the dude at the top, that he handles the big stuff, but it'll only be like 1 or 2 transactions per month, and not like the little guy who's doing it every hour on an hour. That's easy to track, you know?
Oh, okay. So you're talking about like basically if the person on top who basically like his little minions basically.
Yeah, like the head honcho. What is it? The king? I don't want to call him a kingpin because I feel like kingpins are for like cocaine and crack and meth and all that other stuff. I don't want to dabble into that world because that's some real jail time.
Yeah,
like that's the kind of stuff that I don't want. Like what? You sell what? You bagging what? It's not gonna work. Not at all.
I think if I'm not mistaken, you do go under the kingpin. Like if you get caught for being like the head person that like has the whole organization underneath you, then I think you do go down in court as a kingpin.
But you know,
no, go ahead.
Are they like I said, it's marijuana. So like, are they really going to do an investigation on it's so available? Like I said, like this weed is available to everybody basically. Whoever wants to buy some in bulk, they can. So like, are they really going to try to pick one head person to go after and do an investigation on just to arrest them and like go to trial? Like I feel like marijuana is safe these days. Like that's just like I said, it's illegal, but like, is it really that illegal? Like, are you really gonna get in trouble? Unless I just don't. Unless you're selling like pills or some other kind of hardcore drug, like you're not gonna get caught for doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
if you're at the top, it's not likely if you only selling weed. I don't think it's likely. And like if you to handle something where you selling I think it's like heroin, meth, or crack cocaine, or pills, or whatever like that, then yeah, they're gonna be looking for you because
Right.
now you affecting the white neighborhoods now. So now they about to really look for you. But if it's just something like marijuana, then yeah, they probably not looking for the head person of that.
Right.
And then most of the time, the head person of that is somebody in a whole nother freaking state or country, anyways.
Mm-hmm. But that's what.
So my question is, is weed bad? So if a bad guy selling weed is not bad, it depends on that person's perspective, I guess.
So
right?
what kind? You talking about somebody that's standing on the block, or you talking about somebody like what Niyya saying, like the head person?
I'm saying both.
Uh,
I'm asking for both because there's some people think weed is bad. So they think if the guy is like smoking weed or doing anything with it, that they're a bad guy.
I don't think they're weed. I wouldn't say just because you smoke weed you're a bad guy, or just because you sell weed you're a bad guy. But someone who's nickel and diming, like when I was younger, I maybe because I've been around this game so long. But when I was younger, I was like around guys who would sell, and I really wasn't aware until they'd be like, "Oh, let's go take a ride," and they were ripping off their door panels to get stuff from out of like the car. And I'm just like, "Oh shit! Like this is really real. Like this is what my parents don't want me around." So I guess back in the day, like those were the bad boys that I was talking to. But now, I mean, it's just normal. Like, oh, yo, I'm about to drop this at my bro crib, or I'm like, let's go take a ride, and it just, I feel like it's just regular. Like it's just, like it's regular. I don't really feel like it's a bad thing. But now, I probably wouldn't, like right now, I probably wouldn't be in a car because if, God forbid, we did get pulled over or something, because cops are crazy these days,
Yeah.
They would search the car for no reason, and they find a whole 2 book bags or a duffel bag full of whatever. I don't want to be in that position. Like it's not my car. I'm just here. Like it's not gonna fly anymore. So.
Yeah, I forgot what that's called, but I know they locking people up for that too.
Yeah, just being an accessory.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Because I don't know. I might have to snitch. Because I ain't doing no time. Because I am not
People
your
don't like snitches. No snitches.
I don't gotta give me stitches. Sew me up all the way up.
Oh man. All right, so I want to get back to talking about why women choose bad boys, right? Just strictly bad boys. So the main reason that we came up with is because women are not properly loved properly. And that's the word. That's the word. Because if you're always around a guy who doesn't treat you like a queen, or you've dated men who are like that, then what do you expect? They're gonna gravitate to the bad guys and all. So do you agree with that? That's the point that we came up with. That was women are not loved properly.
Or never experienced it before.
Like,
so you can't really miss something that you never had, or you can't desire something that you never really had before.
So yeah, like you say, you can't desire, or you don't know what that feeling is. Like you want it, but when you don't really know what that the proper feeling is. So if you have so everybody wants to be loved. So if you have somebody that's like overly like protective of you, not even protective, like just doesn't trust you. I feel like trust is a big thing. But if he's like, who are you talking to, going through your phone or calling you every couple minutes or being controlling, a girl might be like, oh, he just loves me. Like he's not controlling, he loves me. Or if you come home late and then like he hits you, you might tell your girlfriends like, oh, he just loves me and I should have answered his phone calls. Like, that's not what love is. But you wouldn't know that unless you were loved properly, unless you did have those examples in your life.
Yeah.
So I definitely agree. Like, somebody has to set that example for you growing up. So when you do get older and somebody tries to hit you with that BS, you're like, bro, I'm out. Like, this isn't what love is. Like, my dad loves me, my brothers love me, I have best friends who love me, and this is not how it's supposed to feel. Like, you shouldn't be crying
Mm.
in the bathroom because he loves me. Like, that's
Yeah.
not love. So you
That
definitely have to have that example.
That's true. And at this overall, I think that some guys just need to step it up so that women won't have these perspectives anymore when it comes to good guy versus bad guy. Like, I feel like just if like would you excuse me excuse me, so would you, like, with a guy, would they treat their mom like that? Like, you have to, like, really take it personally. Like, I don't understand why we have to treat each other this way. I never understood this. I feel bad for like for women who goes through certain things like that with, and I also think some men just need some therapy, especially black men. We don't want to talk about that. They got some underlying issues, and that's why they have, like, those behaviors. It's deeper than what we think. We don't really look at the deep stuff. I get real deep.
I don't know. I guess I think about where we were in, like, the 60s, or the 70s or 80s. Not 80s. That's the 60s and 70s, I guess, where you saw back in the day how they used to. Everybody was pretty much like the guys would, when a woman walked in the room or something, even if she was somebody else's wife or something like that, it was, how you doing today, ma'am, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Even if they was interested in a woman, they would talk to that woman in a certain way. Even gangster guys, like, that were selling drugs and stuff, even they still had some sort of respect for females and older people. And I feel like that's the main thing, is that I don't know where along the way we lost that, but I feel like that's pretty much just gone now. And I think as, like, a result of different men being in jail and men not being there for their families there, or leaving, a lot of black women to be single mothers and stuff like that. And, half of that is the woman choosing the wrong guy to, you know, um, have sex with, and then the other half of that is that you got guys just straight up leaving, girls with these,
with children.
with children.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, like, both of those, I don't know how we got so far away from respecting one another, or even getting to the point where we're desiring, I think, like, toxic, like, we want toxic, like that.
Yeah, people, it's like people always give that attention.
Yeah.
They always bring light to the toxic behavior. I'll be seeing people post on, social media, like, oh, I want someone to slap me. Like, well, that's not cute, first of all, sis. I'm sorry, but something wrong. Something wrong right there. It's a little off. A little off for me. Yeah, I'm like, what? Unless it's in a sexual way. But other than that,
right? I was about to say,
put your hands on me, because I do not fight fair. I would get a weapon, but I have to protect myself. So I don't understand. What do you think, Niyya? What's your take on that? How you feel?
It's kind of hard to compare, like, how our grandparents' relationships were back in the 60s and relationships these days, because back in the 60s and 70s and 80s, like, family values were strong. Like, families were together for the most part. And like, after the Depression, that's when a lot of Black people turned to drugs. But post depression, like Black people had a strong sense of community. Like everyone stuck together for the most part. Like the Black community was just like a strong unit. But now, after drugs and crime kind of tore our Black families together, men weren't there to raise their children anymore. Families were struggling. And, you know, that just puts tension in relationships or on the whole family as a unit. So people
Yeah.
are growing up without dads. They may grow up without a mom, really, because she's working 2 jobs to provide for them. And then you have cell phones now. You have social media. So back then, like, you married somebody and like that was it. You may have seen like a few pretty faces in the streets or at the cleaners, but
Yeah.
now you have Instagram and Facebook, all these dating sites. Like you can see thousands of pretty faces a day, and like then you start to crave like a whole bunch of women, or even women start to crave like, oh, he look good, she look good. Like you don't really want to settle down, you know. So everybody just wants to be out in the streets now, and people say they want a relationship. They say like, oh, I want him, but like I feel like you just want them physically. Like you really want it has to be more than just like a physical attraction. Like, do y'all get along? Like, are y'all just together because y'all look good on camera and y'all can get a whole bunch of followers and he got money so y'all can go to the club? You know, you just look good. Like it just looks good. Relationships like that, I don't feel like they really last because they don't have that foundation that our grandparents had, like love and like we're gonna work together. Like it's a partnership. Like we're working together. We're gonna build this family. We're gonna invest in stuff. Like we're gonna get this bag together. And now it's just like, oh yeah, he look good. Like this is my boo. But do y'all plan on getting married? Do y'all plan on buying a house? Like do y'all plan on settling down and like really doing stuff together? Like are y'all compatible for each other? Like what's gonna make this relationship last? Like, do you even see longevity with me? Like, these are conversations that people don't have that should be had to make sure, like, okay, yeah, we're going to be in this for the long run. We can do this together. Because being in a relationship, especially these days, there's going to be so much strain and stress just being with somebody that you have to make sure that you guys can do it together and just one little fight, you're not going to step out on each other, you know?
Yeah. Those are all good points. I agree. That was very good. Yeah. Yeah, what were you gonna say, Nia?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, you go. You good.
Okay. So getting back to what John was talking about how we lost respect. Do you think that chivalry is still alive, or you think is obsolete these days?
Like non-existent.
No, absolutely.
I remember, like you said, you had a conversation last episode about like why women go to older men, and I think that these younger guys, I don't know if they just don't know, they're just not mature enough. It hasn't clicked yet or something, but they don't have that that quality, that selflessness, because it's just like it should be like second nature to hold somebody's door open, or just sending a good morning text or how you doing text, just sweet stuff like that. That's chivalrous. Like you don't even have to like be in someone's presence to be chivalrous. But these older guys, they're the ones that check up on you, like the older men, the sugar daddies, the what do they call them? Gray foxes? I don't know. Like the beard.
Wait, gray foxes.
I forgot what
that's a new term.
Yeah, it's like the great, the salt and pepper men, the ones who have like gray beards, like the old heads, like the sexy grandpas.
Oh, I know you talking about. I
I
see
think
one.
they're called silver foxes. I think that's what they're called. But like that's what women go towards, especially the younger ones. I mean, look at decent. he's older. Like he's like 40 something. She's only 25.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did see that chick. Yeah.
She's from Camden, and
I
I didn't
didn't
know
know
that.
that.
I didn't know that.
she she got her old head. Like he's really an old head now. Like 50 Cent was around when we were in
Yeah,
fourth,
high
fifth
school,
grade.
middle
Like
school. Yeah,
Like yeah, it was like elementary.
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm pretty sure like he treats her like a queen. But these young guys, like, okay, you can spend money on me, but are you treating me like a queen? Just because you
Yeah.
spend money on somebody doesn't mean that you're treating them well and you're respecting them. But Cuban, she been glowing. Like he's been leveling her up, and I feel like these younger guys, they just don't know how to do that yet. They're still immature. I'm not gonna say immature, but they just don't have that life experience to know this is what I should be doing.
Do you think it's
Unless you meet an old soul, that a young person with an old soul, that's accepted.
Well, yeah.
yeah.
How many
Yeah.
of those are there? Because
I met like a few in my life, but well, John's an old soul. Yeah.
okay, wait, how I don't know if your parents are gonna listen to this, but like how old are you?
I'm 28.
No, Jonathan.
I'm 27, but
Yeah.
I've been like this like
No,
pretty
but how old
much.
are your parents?
They're in their 50s.
Yeah, late
Yeah.
50s, 55 and
Yeah.
50.
Okay, so they're
Yep.
not that old, but
Yeah.
They're not that old, but they,
most guys with old souls usually spend a lot of time with their grandparents or their parents are just older, so they've seen stuff, like they just have more experience. But a lot of guys our age, like their parents are in their early 50s. Like a good 10 years makes a difference because my parents are in their 60s. So my
Oh
parents
wow.
my parents are older.
Yeah, you made a good point there because now that I think about it, I did all my life. I pretty much hung around people that was at least 20 years older, 20,
Right.
30 years
So
old.
you just kind of like learn more on how to be respectful.
Yeah.
And young guys are not respectful. I remember
yeah.
I didn't even it wasn't even a date or anything, but we went to Wawa and I had got like a bag of chips and a water.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot my wallet in the car. I actually didn't bring it because I kind of just figured he would pay for it. Like it's like what,
It's a bag of chips.
$3? Right.
Yeah.
He watched me go to the car, get my
Huh.
stuff, come in and pay for it. Like for real.
Oh wow.
That was the first and last time I ever went out with him anywhere. I was
Yeah.
like, you can't pay $3. Like,
Or yeah, and then he said, "Oh, if he did pay, then he said, "Oh, you gotta pay me back." That's red flag.
No, right? What? I gotta pay
Red
you back?
flag.
You really pressed over $3?
Over $3 though. Come on,
Yeah,
come
I don't let nobody
on.
like that.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say when you said earlier. You said the younger guys don't know to do it. I'm sitting there thinking like, do you think that it's more so they don't know to do it, or you think they just don't want to do it?
That's a good point. That's a good question.
I don't think that it like really clicks. I was having this conversation with my cousin, but you have to be thoughtful of someone. Like, let's just say you and Christina go to Wawa or whatever. She's like, "Oh no, I'm gonna stay in the car." And you ask her if she wants something. She's like, "No, it's okay." But you see,
Right.
she likes, I don't know, she likes black cherry Pepsi, and you see one. Like a chivalrous guy would just buy it and be
Right.
like, "Here, I just got you this soda," and she'll be like,
Right.
"Oh, thank you," because it's the thought that counts. Like even if
Mhm.
she doesn't want it, she's still
Right.
gonna be like, "Oh, he really thought about me. Like he saw it. He
Yeah.
knows that I like it. He got it for me."
Yeah.
But these guys, they be like, "All right, she gonna pay for it." She said she ain't want nothing, so I'm gonna go in the store and not get her anything. And then when you come out, she gonna look at you like, this Negro really ain't buy me nothing.
Yeah, yeah. Women be testing men. They be doing that just to see what they do. Yep.
Every time.
If they fail, they fail.
Oh man.
Man.
But that's just a quality that I think has to be learned. Because some people don't care. Like your
Yeah.
partner may not care if you're thoughtful, but that's just a good quality to have, to be
Yeah.
thoughtful, and to be attentive. Like you really gotta get to know somebody. You just gotta get to know somebody.
That's true.
So I guess that can kind of go with. I guess with being with good guys, being with bad guys, do you think it could be just a matter of getting to know the person really? Because maybe that good guy just appears to be weak and he's not really weak. You just got to get to know him. Or it could be a bad guy and he could seem like a bad guy on the outside, but then you get to know him and he actually turns out to be a good guy. That might be the way he dressed or something like that. You think that's possible? Like maybe you just need to get to know the people, or um, do we judge? Maybe we judge too much on the outside appearance.
It's so easy to judge. I think it's very easy to judge somebody because half the time when you meet somebody new, it's on social media, or
Yeah.
you might meet them in person, and then you exchange social medias, and then you're looking on his page and vice versa, and you're like, oh shoot, like they're nothing like what I thought they would be like. So whether you met him and you thought he was like super nerdy, or like, oh, this is probably not gonna work because he corny, but then you see go on his page and he traveling the world, like he's in a rock band and a whole bunch of stuff. You're like, oh shoot, like he might be a little interesting. Or vice versa, like he could. But who I don't even think I would give somebody that looks like a bad boy a chance. Like if you sagging your jeans, if you smoking, like your hair is not done. Even if I go on your Instagram and I see like you got a fresh cut, you dressing nice, but why? I feel like you should be like that all the time. Not like done up like all the time, but at least look presentable, you know? So sometimes you do have to get to know somebody, but are you really gonna? It depends on like if you really like that person. Like, do you feel like you're gonna give them the time to get to know someone? Like, it takes a while. For me, it takes at least like 5 months to really get to know somebody, and that's a long time to waste. And the person is still crusty, or he's just too nice. Like, this is a boring 5 months. We've been doing the same thing.
Actually, you're right. You're right.
Dinner and a movie.
Like,
Dinner and a movie.
Yeah, you're right. It's you know what I like when the guy is creative. They do something just out like you never done before. That's if they put in the thoughts like of the making it special for you. I think that will count. I think that's a good quality to have too, being creative. Good quality.
Outside the box.
Exactly.
Because then it'll make you. But I feel like some corny guys may do stuff like that.
Oh, well, yeah, you're right.
Because they gonna think it's corny. I think sometimes corny can be cute.
Yeah.
Like, I would love like a country guy like this. Some girls are gonna be like, "What the heck?" But if he had like he got a rental, I don't even freaking know. If he got a rental and he picked you up, and in the back of it was just like some blankets and a picnic basket, and he's like, "We can eat dinner underneath the stars." Like, that's corny. Like, what? That's a whole weak ass Negro. But in my heart, I'm gonna be like, oh my god, like this is corny, but this is so cute. Like I never did this before. And I just may not tell my friends because they're gonna be looking at him like, what the hell? He's soft. Like, like that's the kind of stuff. That's why I say like a nice little mixture. That would be cute. But I also want somebody who can protect me or whatever.
Yeah, true.
But that's the kind of creative, cute little stuff that I like. Or I would like.
So I think overall, whatever guy or woman choose, we feel like that that they just to make sure that they're not getting abused. That's the main thing, not losing yourself to make that man happy. Whatever guy you choose. That's what it comes down to.
Whether it's physically, mentally, or emotionally. As long as you're not getting abused in any kind of way, you're gonna be with whoever you're gonna be with.
Yeah, whoever you want. Because at the end of the day, if you love a bad guy, you want to fall in love with a bad guy. That's it. But make sure you don't try not to get into something that a situation you don't want to be in. So it's because I feel like some women get caught up easily in certain situations that, like, how did I get here? You don't want that. You don't want that to happen. But I mean, sometimes it happens. So that's all. That's our conclusion right there. That's our conclusion.
It's see, I feel like pick women who pick bad guys, like that, and they just stay with them. I think they need to just look inside. If that's what they're attracted to, they need to
Yeah.
do some soul searching. I think a
Yeah.
lot needs to happen because there's a lot of women who get caught up in those situations. Like you hear it all the time. Like the woman got beat for so long, and then I think Eve, even in her song, um, you know, what's it called? Um, but she was saying how her best friend, her best friend used to get beat on all the time, and then one day he killed her because she would never leave that relationship, and Eve ended up killing the guy and going to jail for it because he killed her best friend. Love is Blind. You know the
Is
song?
that a book or a movie?
No,
I
it's
never
a
heard
song
that.
from Eve. Love is
Oh, from the
blind.
rapper
It'll
Eve.
take
Oh, love.
over your mind. That song. I'm
I
not about
think
to
I
listen.
know that. I haven't listened to Eve's music in a minute, but
Oh, well, all you listeners and you guys, you can listen to that song because that's exactly what she was talking about. And it really happens so much. And I'm
yeah.
not sure why these women stay. I can't speak on it because I've never been there.
Mm-hmm.
But that has to do with like being able to let something toxic go. And you guys did say like people love toxicity or they just like they're addicted to it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not sure why, but like I said, you also said people need to go to therapy. I think a
Yeah.
lot of people need to just go to therapy, even if you don't think you need it. I think
Yeah.
therapy will just help you find yourself and like know yourself better, and
Yeah.
you'll be able to cope with certain situations and get over stuff and just cope with life. Like it'll definitely help. But I guess if you want to conclude this saying there are some pros to being a good guy or dating a good guy, and there's some cons to dating a bad pros to dating a bad guy. But like
Yeah.
you said, each woman is different. So whatever you're willing to put up with, that's what you're willing to put up with.
Yep. That's that. Right. Yeah.
That's that. Just
Yep.
stay safe.
Stay safe out there. Stay safe out there. It's a hard world out there. Oh, wow.
Especially
I'm talking like that.
dating in 2020, it definitely is
20, oh
tough.
my goodness.
It's
Why it
about to
gotta
be
be our generation?
2021 in a couple months
Why it gotta be our generation? No,
because
but it's really like across the board, I think. Even the generation coming up, it's gonna be hard for them too. Just
they're
gotta navigate through it. Yeah.
Well, Nia, do you have any Instagram or Twitter or
Yeah.
anything like that that you want the people to follow?
Where
Or
can people follow you? You got any businesses? You can just say it.
yes, they can follow me at Niyya Ali. So it's NIYYAALI. That's my Instagram. I don't really have any businesses, but I will. I think next year I'm gonna start building gardens for people, like little gardens. Because a lot of
oh
Oh
people,
wow,
wow, it's cute.
yeah, they're gonna start. I've been getting so many questions like, oh, how do you grow this? How do you grow that? And I think
Mhm.
New Jersey is such a good place to garden between like February and October, November. You can get a lot of crops in. So be on the lookout for that because
mm.
I love to grow my own produce. It's just something very relaxing about it. But yeah, they can follow me on Instagram at Niyya Ali. And yeah, this was great. Thanks for inviting me, guys.
Yes, thank you for
Thank you
the
for coming.
insight. Thank you for the points. You made me realize a lot of things. My mind has been open to some. No, for real, because I had no idea why. I just need a different we just need a different perspective
Mm.
because
Yeah.
we could have just talked, just me and Jonathan could just talk, but we wanted to, have someone else in the conversation. I think this was a good one too.
Yeah, there's so many side conversations that we could have had. Um, because dating in 2020 is a whole like it's a mental breakdown. Like you really gotta like dig deep
Hmm.
and like figure a whole bunch of stuff out because you have so many I can't even think right now. But there's just so many layers. Like, you have so many things to deal with inside of a relationship that nobody talks about. And it can lead to a lot of stress. And if it's not dealt with properly, the relationship can turn toxic, and then you're stuck with the person. You end up hating them, and it can just be all bad. But anyway, we're not going to go into that right now.
Well,
we might be able to have you back.
Yeah, we probably have you back.
Okay.
Yep. And everyone, stay tuned for our second season. Until then, you can catch us. You can listen to our other episodes. First season is going to be out. You can catch up with us on that. Yeah, I'm excited. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, you have been on CJ.Honesty.
Just being honest, nothing but the truth.